Hey honey buns, and what is up? Happy Miss Vlogmas season. Today we are going to be making a off the shoulder one arm mini bodycon dress. Let's get started. Honey Bun TV. Okay, honey buns, if you were here before, then you know this fabric was used for our mermaid dress that we had made just a couple days ago. And as I like to say, keep your scraps. That is exactly what I did. Everything you're going to be needing is going to be listed in the description box below. I'm working with approximately, I want to say 1.5 to 2 yards of fabric, more so probably on the 2 yards of fabric side. And the first thing that I'm going to do is flip my fabric hot dog style down the middle and cut it into 2 pieces so I can have a little bit more to work with. Now, after I finish cutting my fabric down the middle, I am now going to start cutting pieces of my dress, starting with the body portion. And when it comes to the body portion, as you can see me here doing, I'm literally just measuring down how long I want it. I don't want it too long, but I also do not want it too short. And to find that measurement, you can measure down literally from the top of your shoulder to about 2 to 3 inches above your kneecap. Now, after you have finished cutting your fabric, we are going to go on to start piecing everything together as well as cutting our slant. Now, as you can see here, I am finna to literally label which side is the back. And just a word of advice or a hint for future purposes, the neckline is higher in the back than it is in the front. So that's where you see me here placing the pin for the back. Now, I'm going to take my front piece and place it on top of my back piece, of course. And then I'm going to get started with that slant. The slant is totally up to you on how deep you want it to be, where you want it to start, but I'm going to show you guys how I did that and, you know, the mindset that I was thinking in. As you can see here, I have my ruler, and my ruler literally goes about 1 inch over to where the shoulder point is, and I want to say approximately 1 inch up from where the armpit is. Now, you do not want your slant too deep. You don't want it too deep to where it'll come down and, you know, it's showing a little bit too much. Now, if that's what you want, that's okay. But for me, I don't really want that too much. So I literally just went over about 1.5 inches from where my shoulder point is. You can really get away with doing 1 inch depending on, you know, your sleeves and just the size that you are. And then I literally went up about another 1 inch and 1.5 inches where the armpit is, where you can see that I have that pin stationed there, okay? Now, to get this slant, you are literally going to cut it across. And I do recommend, when I say to go up about 1/2 inch, to add another inch to it, because we are going to be making a casing. So you really should go up, I want to say 2 inches from your armpit area, because you will be making a casing to put the elastic in. So the slant portion will fit you a little bit better, okay? And here I am literally just taking my rotary knife and cutting across. If you've been following along, you already know right here, I'm literally trying to tell y'all to hem the bottom of your dress as well. Do not forget it. And I will show you how to hem the bottom of your dress. And it applies the same way how you do your arms, if you would like to see. But that is what I'm telling you to do, is just to hem the bottom of your dress, okay? Now we are literally getting ready to put everything together. We are going to be facing right sides to each other and sewing right now, only the shoulder point, okay? So I'm just gliding my finger across where you should be sewing, which is your shoulder point. After that, I just went ahead and literally hemmed a little bit. Well, I wouldn't really say hem too much. I just took my serger and I just cleaned up the edges where I'm going to put that casing in, okay? And I'm literally just showing you how it will look when you put your casing, well, when you do your casing, and how it's supposed to be. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. First things first, we got to put our arm on this dress, okay? So now you are going to decide, well, of course you got to do it to decide where the arm is. So right now you are going to take where that arm area is. You're literally going to sew it on. Typically, I like to start with the middle and then work my way to the end. So I'm going to start my way in the middle, and then I am going to work my way to the left side, and then I'm going to come back to the middle again when it comes to pinning, and then I am going to work my way to the right side. And I'm going to follow suit the same method when it comes to sewing this arm on. After you sew your arm on, the same method that I did with starting in the middle and working your way to the end, you are literally going to do that. You're going to start your way in the middle and work your way down your side, and then you're going to start your way in the middle and work your way down the arm. In the middle is under the armpit, as you can see me there doing. So I'm starting in the middle, and then I am going to the end. Now that I am done sewing my arm and my side together, everything is coming along and looking real cute. We are literally about to move on to our next step, which is going to be using some elastic and a safety pin. So when it comes to the measurement of the elastic, you want to just make sure that this elastic goes all around from your shoulder point and under your arm area. And also you want to take away at least 1 inch from that measurement. So example, if you have elastic that is about 25 inches, you want to take away 1 inch just so it can be a little bit more tighter and, you know, not as loose. Okay, now what we are going to do that I zoomed in is we are going to make our casing. Now I believe this elastic is about 1 1/4 of an inch, so we are literally going to fold over about, I want to say 1.5 inches to, well, really 1 inch to 1.5 inches, because this is small. And we're going to create the casing just like this. As you can see here, I have my 2 pins because we are going to be circling and sewing around those pins. We're not going to sew in the middle of those pins. We are going to sew around those pins, okay? My finger around just so you can follow suit that you should be sewing after that pin to the left and coming up and stopping at that pin to my right, okay? You are not going to be sewing in the middle. You want to leave a gap. After that, as you can see here where the gap was, that's where those pins were. I am going to be taking my elastic and feeding it through my casing. Now, after I fed it through my casing, what I'm going to do is just sew my elastic together by placing one piece on top of the other one. After you are finished sewing your elastic on top of one another, as you see me placing on there, you are literally just going to push that elastic up and under where that gap was. As you can see, I'm rubbing my finger underneath so y'all can see where the gap is. And when I push it over, you'll see that's where I pushed the elastic on. Now, all you are going to do is literally sew on top of there a straight stitch. And baby, you are going to be done. See you, honey buns, tomorrow. Mwah.